family, a global family. And I think that's what keeps people involved. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been around for 17 years, and I think we'll be around for many, many more. Because it speaks to that need for community that we all have.
As Americans, we're used to, just go there, do things, build things, give money. But the gift we bring is our time. And the gift we bring is our love, our friendship, and staying in solidarity with people.
But that connection to the U.S. and that connection to the communities here is also just very important, of just getting everybody together and working on breaking down those barriers instead of building them up.
The best way to really understand what Sister Parish is about is to go and to experience it, to go and walk in someone else's shoes for a while, to live in that experience.
I really enjoyed this delegation. I liked the fact that there were so many, the age groups were very different. It was interesting to me to watch everybody experience the trip. People reacted very differently to different situations.
Arriving at the airport, and then all of a sudden you see these people that you know, and instantly their faces just light up and they're holding signs and they're just embracing you.
We have a building here in Guatemala City in the center of town. We're very simple in terms of how we work. We have a very small staff.
This building used to be a novitiate. That's why we have all the spaces, all the rooms. And actually the location also in San Juan, it's, the buses from different departments come here. The terminal of the buses are here. So when delegates come, it's really close.
The time that we spent around downtown Guatemala and Zone 1 was like a roller coaster. The first really strong emotion that I felt on the trip was when we went to the Giardi Monument.
On the grounds of the cathedral, when you're outside, there are great pillars that surround the plaza area of the cathedral. And engraved upon those pillars are the names of the victims that have been identified, victims of the violence.
We had 250,000 people killed. We have 1.5 million people displaced. More than 664 villages erased off the map.
I was just glad that we were given these opportunities to listen to, first of all, the gentleman that gave a history of Guatemala, and also the museum, because it enhanced a sense of perhaps why the people are today where they're at psychologically, sociologically, as well as just the economics and that of it. So I felt like that was another layer that really added to our understanding.
Many of the people in Tierra Nueva Dos lived in some of the areas that we visited in the mountains. A lot of them have relatives there, and they grew up there. So by traveling to the countryside and learning a little bit about the history and the spirituality, it really helps us connect with them.
When we got to the church, we pulled in and there's just huge crowd of people everywhere around the van, and we got out and everyone you couldn't even move. You just had to stand where you got out, and everyone just came, and the kids just hugs.
Yeah, I thought I was like ready for that welcoming, but you're not until they're actually until you're making contact with them and smiling and hugging them back, and the 50th hug, then you know what it means. So there's just no way to know until you're there, or until you've been there. The absolute unconditional love that is just thrust upon you by the people of this parish. And I think we have those that came before us to thank for that, because this relationship is built up, that there's just this incredible trust and love between the people of both parishes.
Homestay is probably it's the highlight of the trip for me.
they went out of their way to find that we were comfortable. The bed we had was comfortable, and all the other things, the heated water for our shower. If it was a typical house, and I imagine it was better than a lot of them, I remember that the walls were concrete, not painted, concrete floor, and the tin roofs. By our standards, it would be a very poor house, but by their standards, it was livable, and we certainly enjoyed it for the days that we were there.
At first, it was really kind of, for me, I felt really awkward, but by the end of the week, I felt like I really was at home.
In this experience, because the space looked different than what I'm used to in a lot of different ways, that first impression proved to be wrong because the people there made you feel welcome. So you forgot the space and you focused on the people that were there.
It was a family that I almost felt like I was already a part of, even though I had never met any of them before.
We were fed very simple meals and welcomed to their table. That is, to me, the most amazing part of the Sister Parish relationship, that you can immediately have that kind of connection.
Going to Santiago Atitlan, visiting Chanitas, visiting the Peace Park, visiting the Stanley Rother Memorial. These are very powerful, emotionally challenging experiences.
Before going to Guatemala, I had heard about the war and I'd heard about the Peace Park, but I'd never actually seen it or realize that there's actually 9-year-olds being killed.
I've seen the faces of all those kids in the faces of the kids in TN2. And that was probably the most, that probably hit me the hardest. So that was powerful.
I looked up and saw the mountains and thought, I don't think I've ever seen anything more lovely than this. And again, I had that same sadness hit. So beautiful, but the things that happened up in those mountains are so unexcusable. And so they were beautiful, sad mountains.